let's get started in here.
Welcome to Backlot 605, episode 15. I'm Casey.
I'm Brian.
And we got Chris here with us once again.
Good to be here.
And we're all just schmucks.
We are Schmucks.
Schmucks in the Schmuck Club.
We are a Schmuck Club.
That's all we are.
Be the Schmuck Club.
We are the Schmuck Club. Use the hashtag if you're listening out there. And if you want to be a schmuck,
Be a Schmuck.
just be a schmuck. Watch movies and be a schmuck.
Be a Schmuck.
So today we're going to do some fun stuff. We got a little bit of news to talk about, as we always do. And then we're going to play a little game kind of based on Sophie's choice. We're going to have a couple movies that we're going to have fight it out. And one will live on forever and one will disappear from all of existence.
And then you just
Dun,
get
dun,
to
dun.
just try to actually remember that that's the case.
That's the case. And then we're going to cry because we're never going to watch these movies again.
Depending on the movie, that might not necessarily be a bad thing.
No, there is some bad ones in that hat, so
Is The Room in there?
maybe. We'll get to that later.
Okay.
But, let's jump into the box office for this week.
Did we have a decent box office?
We had more movies than last week come out.
Yeah, that's
Four of 'em.
Yeah. It wasn't nothing. I think it was a little disappointing this week, though.
why.
And we'll get to it. The Lego Movie 2 pulled in $34 million this weekend.
The second part.
The second part, a little bit below expectations with that one.
Way below. The first one made over 60 opening weekend.
Well, you know, when you have a lot to live up to,
You just
You know.
shit it all away.
well, I don't know. It's a movie I want to see, and I will see it. But there was nothing gravitating towards the trailers that I've seen that made me go, I must absolutely see that this weekend.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be one of those movies that's going to have a little bit of a longevity, so I don't think it's going to dip, hopefully, as much like, say, next week.
No, I think it'll dip once we get to How to Train Your Dragon 3. Then it's going to take a pretty big dive.
Well, and as I say that, I think about what's coming out this following week, and so that might be a hard week for it to follow up in then, too, now that I think about it, because of Adelita Battle Angel and the Rebel Wilson movie and all that going on, too, so...
Still the only family movie, though. I don't know.
How to Train Your Dragon 3 is actually killing the Lego movie overseas because it's already out.
Yeah,
It's
I saw
already
that.
Over 130 million foreign.
Darn freaking
Dragons.
Frickin' dragons beating out the
Frickin' Lego
Legos.
movie needed more dragons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, so...
I don't know. What do you think it is? Is it a little bit of Lego fatigue now? We had the Batman movie, the Ninjago movie.
Yeah, and the Ninjago movie didn't do that great
No.
either. And I think that's probably why they kind of went back to
Basics.
the Lego movie, go back to those characters and whatnot. But I don't necessarily think it's necessarily fatigue. I think it honestly might just be weirdly bad timing. You know, it's been kind of a rough winter. You know, and a lot of people aren't going to go out. You know, in the upper Midwest where like we're at and whatnot, it's been kind of a shitty winter. So people aren't going to go out and do things outside and whatnot, even if it means traveling to a movie theater. So, you know, because when was the polar vortex?
Just last week, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess it's kind of hard to say. It's probably, like I said, for me, is there wasn't anything that was super gravitating in comparison to the first one that made me go, I need to see it. Like, for instance, everything I've seen for Adelita Battle Angel, even though what the current critics are saying for its box office draw, I still want to see it. I think it looks fantastic, and I will go see that. So, my opinion.
Yeah. And it's wrong.
Fuck you.
No, that is something I do want to see, and I think that's going to take a little bit away from this audience. It's going to be as close to a new release kids family movie in a way. This is only PG-13.
Oh yeah, and you know what?
thing.
That might even be now that you make reference to How to Train Your Dragon. It might be one of those ones where money's tight. It's the winter. People don't want to go out as much, and the kids would rather go see How to Train Your Dragon. And you got more parents wanting to wait a couple weeks to see that than to suppose going to the Lego movie.
Yeah, I think that might hurt it quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 is What Men Want, pulling in It's at $19 million.
19 estimated.
Not too bad.
Well, I say yes and no. I mean, for the fact that your opening number one movie is only 34, I think 19 is not too shabby. But I mean, in overall for, potential box office, big money raking movies and whatnot.
Well, it's going to drop pretty hard next.
Exactly.
It made pretty much its budget back on this one, but I don't think it's going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
The same audience that went to that is going to go watch the Rebel Wilson Valentine's comedy. So.
But who's to say that maybe because they're on very similar stances in regards to like the audience draw, that how many people are going to go see one and not the other? Maybe Rebel Wilson actually gets hurt by this movie coming out the week before.
That could be.
Yeah.
I could see it where couples are going out and they're not going to go out and watch an anime movie or a horror movie on Valentine's. So if they what's the Rebel Wilson one called?
Isn't it romantic?
Yes.
So if those are sold out, this could be their second option to come.
Yeah, maybe. But I don't see anything next week, even for as much that is coming out. I don't really see anything being the killer sellout movie that's going to make a difference.
I think once we get to what's coming out next week, we should make predictions at what's going to be number one. Because it's a really interesting week for me coming up. So, number 3 this week, Liam Neeson's Cold Pursuit, $10 million. So I don't think that's too shabby for a movie I haven't seen any trailers for.
Yep.
Have you not seen any of them?
Mm-mm.
So,
granted, I don't have cable TV, so I don't know if it's been advertised on their lot.
Welcome to the internet.
Yeah.
No, to me, it's another notch in the Liam Neeson, I'm an old man kicking ass belt. The Taken, the Nonstop, the Commuter, the Cold Pursuit. It's just been, how can we make Liam Neeson, the old man, the badass, It's almost like he's turning into like this generation's like Clint Eastwood.
A little bit. What kind of surprises me is that it's still got the $10 million, and with all the controversy that's going on with Liam Neeson. It's about the only thing that's kind of surprising about
Who's to say that that's not because of the controversy, that it's only 10 million? Who's to say that maybe, it could have taken second place?
That's true.
If it wasn't for the controversy. But at the same time, too, to me, like I said, it looks like it's just another version of the same thing. And I think for me, it's time for Liam Neeson to do something different.
I heard it's a little more comedic. Is that right? I don't know.
Nothing that I've seen from
Maybe
the previous.
Maybe it's comedic, and it's not supposed to be. I don't know.
Well, yeah, exactly. This is supposed to be a serious, dramatic action movie. That shit was funny as hell.
Yeah.
I'm just, waiting to find out that he takes someone out with a Zamboni or something.
The Zamboni killer.
The one preview that I did see where he's going down this highway, like Alaska or something like that, right? I don't remember where it's even supposed to take place, but obviously, like the snow, like the road and whatnot, everything is like 8 feet tall on both sides, and he just takes this big old like truck thing and just jacks this car, and it's flipping through the air so unrealistically, and so you're right. It's probably why people are laughing.
Probably.
Yeah.
Number 4, The Upside, pulling in $7 million this weekend, and number 5, Glass.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that kind of rounds out the top 5 there.
Yeah, but look at that, though. Did you look at the numbers closely there, though?
What are you looking at?
The fact that The Upside took Glass when last week it was the other way around. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That The Upside had enough of a less of enough drop that Glass is just falling off. That tells me by next week, we might not even have Glass in the top 10. I mean, at that rate of fall between new releases this week and next week.
Possibly. I don't know. I think it'll stick in that top 10. Top 8, that's a different story.
Yeah.
I think it'll drop pretty hard again.
Oh, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, if you figure you've got 3 for this week, you have 3 for next week, there's 6, depending on where they place.
You got to give props to Glass, though, for sticking around this long. With how much, mixed reviews there are for it, and for this movie not...
Yeah, but look at
having the big budget action movie.
Well, I'll give you that, but look at The Upside. It's been out 1 week longer.
It has Kevin Hart, though.
Yeah. Kevin
Number-
Hart, the same guy that was getting shit about the whole between the
Yeah.
Oscars and all that
But
stuff.
some people don't care about that stuff.
Yeah.
You know, he's still one of the biggest movie stars in the world right now.
Yep.
Love him or hate him.
Oh, I like him.
I don't.
Well, you also are just an inconsiderate prick.
Yes. Speaking of inconsiderate prick,
See-
I didn't even know there was a horror movie coming out this weekend.
What are you talking about?
The Prodigy.
Oh, yes.
Number 6. I didn't realize we were even getting that one in Sioux Falls. That's why I did not include it last week.
Well, then you should have done your
I
homework.
should have done my, especially for a horror movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Heard it's getting decent reviews.
I
I kind of want to get to this before the Lego movie, honestly.
At least it looks like, from what I'm seeing on Chris's screen here, though, at least it's already made back its budget, though.
Yep.
Little indie $6 million budget horror movie.
Yeah, not that hard.
No, not typically with a horror movie.
No. Well, speaking of horror movies,
Welcome.
let's get to this poster.
The poster for Us. I'm sorry, this poster is fan freaking tabulous. Whoever is the guy that did the Photoshop or whatever for this deserves an award of some sort.
This is one of the best horror posters in a long time.
It's creepy as hell and just beautifully done.
Tells you exactly what the movie is.
For the most, yeah.
Yeah. It's, I don't know, it's something I would want on my wall. It'd be creepy as hell,
Why don't you have it yet?
but I should have just printed offline. Yeah.
Dude,
Probably
be a responsible adult. Go to the internet, go order the poster, go to the store, frame it, put that shit right there.
Put it right there. Have
Right
it stare
there.
at us every episode.
See, we gotta take down this music stuff and put up movie stuff.
But those are cool.
I'm not arguing that.
It's a work in progress.
It is a work in progress.
But yeah, Chris, what do you think of this poster?
It's great. Love it. Are they gonna do the other characters too? Do we know?
Ooh, that'd be kind of cool.
I would feel like they should. Winston Duke.
That's what the poster is based off of.
The popcorn?
A 1990s horror film called Popcorn. So again, Jordan Peele using his horror knowledge to his best.
I'm still in that little bit of that, that honeymoon phase of trying to, learn and understand that Jordan Peele is this horror person.
Oh yeah, I just watched the documentary on Shudder. The what was it called? Horror noir.
I don't know. I
Something
don't have
like
Shudder.
that. Yeah. Anyway, basically, he's like the main person they talk to in this documentary. It's all about the history of black horror. It's amazing. Great documentary. If you guys have Shudder, if you're a horror fan,
What's it
it's
called?
kind of necessary to watch.
Necessary to watch.
Yes. No, that's not the name of this. Sorry, horror noir is what it's called.
See,
Sorry.
do you notice he's not paying attention?
I was finishing my sentence and you asked a question mid-sentence. Sorry.
I confused you.
But yeah, great documentary. Check it out. But
So-
we're going to talk about another horror movie here.
And no, we're not
No?
going to talk about a horror movie. We're going to talk about a piece of shit that's coming to theaters.
Child's Play just released its first trailer.
And I'm so disappointed.
Let's hear it.
Well, I'm not arguing that the trailer itself is well made. I mean, for what they're trying to get across. I still have a problem with the movie in general, and maybe that's what's putting a bad taste in my mouth. Because, they changed his origin. They're changing the name of the good guy doll to the buddy doll, and it's like they're trying to make Child's Play without having the rights to make Child's Play. And it's just wrong. And it's like, if you can't do it like it's supposed to be done, even if you're rebooting the series, don't fucking do it.
Here's the thing.
What?
They're still doing the original fucking series. Last year, the latest sequel came out.
No, I know that.
He's still working on another one and possibly a TV series.
Right.
Actually, not possibly a TV series. A TV series is coming.
Yeah, because isn't that what they're working on? Like, there's like no current film in product,
No.
but they're working on the TV
The
series.
TV series, yes.
Yes.
It's going to air on Sci-Fi.
Yeah, that's just it. I mean, if you're not going to have Stephen Dorff do the voice, and you can't have Brett, yeah, my bad.
Wrong Dorf.
Wrong. Steven's probably not a person.
He is. He's in Blade, the villain in
No,
Blade.
that's not how you pronounce his name.
Similar.
Stephen Dorff, Dorf.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or PH, whatever. Fuck, whatever. Blade's been playing all over the freaking Sci-Fi right now, too. it came to my realize, to divert just slightly, is that gives Ryan Reynolds 3 Marvel franchises he's been a part of, and it's amusing as hell. Or not, comic book franchises, excuse me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. So.
This trailer.
No,
yeah.
No.
I
I'm
thought the
not
trail-
sold. There's
I thought
nothing
the trailer
about
was
it.
okay.
Yeah, that's just, I mean, I think.
If Child's Play had never happened before, this would be a really good trailer.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Except for the whole, like, technology thing, too. It's almost like it's like he's a little android that they can sell in the store for $50.
Yeah.
It just,
I don't know. Yeah. Chris, are you a fan of the Child's Play movies?
I don't like horror movies at all.
Did you watch this trailer?
I just did like an hour ago. It's a good trailer, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go see the movie like at all.
It's just, like for the sake of, if you're talking about the, those companies out there that's their job is to make a trailer.
Yeah.
It's a very well done trailer. Like it's not a shitty trailer. I just think that they made a great trailer for a shitty movie.
That might be. I mean, it's got a good cast. I like the cast. Aubrey Plaza.
That's the only one I know.
And then the kid is from a horror movie that just came out a few years ago, Lights Out.
Oh, okay.
From your boy who's doing Shazam.
Shazam!
Yeah. So it has a good cast, and I don't know. Well, I kind of want to see more from this before I fully pull the trigger on whether I'm going to go watch it or not.
The only way I think I could fully pull the trigger to go see it is if they went into post, CGI'd, and changed that to a fucking buddy doll. To the good guy doll. Like the buddy doll thing just pisses me off.
Yeah, that could be. I don't know what maybe they don't own the rights to that. I don't know.
Well, that's just what I'm saying. If you can't do it like it's supposed to be, don't fucking do it.
I think it's a similar thing to the Friday the 13th thing, where the studio owns the Child's Play name, but the creator owns pretty much everything else.
But why would the good guy doll be the one thing? Because they're using his name, Chucky. They're using the Child's Play name.
But they haven't ever said Charles Lee Ray. I don't know if they can own a single name like Chucky. That's my only thing. I don't know.
That's where you're having the issues with Jason Voorhees.
But that's a specific name, Jason Voorhees. Get what I'm saying? Sort of.
Yeah, but it's also probably the same instance of property, a name associated with something else.
Yeah,
like
that's like why
I couldn't just use Disney.
That's true.
I mean, yes, it's Walt Disney, but everything is associated as Disney. So I can't just go use Disney to like how I want to.
You can.
I could. I don't want to mess with the Mouse House. They got big lawyers that are a lot bigger than me.
That mouse is gonna come knocking at your door.
Hello.
All right, we got another poster.
Oh my god.
For a horror movie? I don't know. It is Tommy Wiseau's finally follow-up to The Room, starring himself and Greg Sestero once again, titled Big Shark.
Great name.
Yeah, can you just picture Tommy Wiseau actually just going, Big Shark?
It's a big shark.
It's just a big shark. No.
And, I don't know. I love.
Is this like straight to YouTube kind of stuff? Because like, who would go see this? Okay.
Casey slowly raises his hand. If it's as bad as The Room and as entertaining as The Room, I would go watch this.
You would pay money to see this in the theater?
Hell yes. If you treat it as a straight up comedy, and you go in, you're looking for a good time, you're gonna laugh at a stupid, shitty movie. Why not? As long as it's entertaining.
Oh no! I want to know who gave him the funds for this. How is it that
the disaster artist gave him the funds for this?
It's like how, like self-funded kind of thing.
Probably. That's how he did The Room.
Yeah, he's self-funded.
Well, all I know is because if Kevin Smith can't get some of the shit off the ground he wants, how the fuck is this man making movies?
Well, because Kevin Smith's a filmmaker first. Tommy Wiseau owns land and different buildings. He makes his money elsewhere. So he can make his shitty movies.
The one thing I will give Tommy Wiseau credit for is I think it's Funny or Die, or I forget who did it, where it was him being the Joker.
Yep. And
Oh my
Greg
God.
Sestero's playing Batman.
Creepy as hell, but hilarious.
Would you pay to watch that?
No.
Okay.
No.
Not a Tommy Wiseau Joker movie.
No.
Apparently, his last movie that he did with Greg is getting decent reviews.
Which one?
It's like Friend or
Best Friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Greg's turn to do the writing, directing, and have Tommy play his actor. So, yeah. Anyway.
No.
No.
I'm out. Nope.
You're out?
Nope.
If this was on the sci-fi, this seems like a sci-fi channel movie.
See, and that's where it's like, if it was just on TV, maybe. There would have to be nothing else on.
Maybe Netflix will strike a deal with him. And they'll get The Room and Big Shark.
So, yeah. Okay, here you go. Straight to TV, like sci-fi kind of thing, right? And there's nothing else on, and my Netflix and Hulu are broken.
Then you're going to watch Big Shark.
Oh my God, so bad.
It is bad.
So bad. So speaking of stuff in the water.
Stuff in the water. I like that transition.
Hey, you like that?
I like it.
Hey.
What's in the water?
What's in the water? A spinoff that should not happen. And that is Warner Brothers trying to develop The Trench based on the Trench people of James Wan's Aquaman. And I follow it up with, why the fuck are we even talking about this? Why should we even... Part of me wants to talk about it because I want to go, what the fuck? The other part of me says, why are we talking about this? Because we're only enabling them.
Yeah. I kind of want this.
No.
A little bit. If it is nothing, I want it to have nothing to do with Aquaman, and James Wan does it, and it's just an underwater horror movie.
You know, and
That
that's...
could work.
I mean, possibly. But, I mean, just because, you... Like, The Trench was freaking amazing part of Aquaman. No argument there. But it's like, just because you found this one cool part doesn't mean you need to exploit it. If anything, to me, it almost would water down.
Pun intended.
No. But hilarious. It would just, I think it would give less credit to what James created for Aquaman by diluting it, more pun intended, by making this spinoff.
He has actually responded to these rumors, James has.
And?
He said, with a wink and a nod, neither confirming nor denying that this is happening.
So it's happening.
So he's probably involved if it is happening. Or he's just going along with the joke. One or the other.
Yeah, here's hoping it's the latter.
Conjuring underwater.
Oh my God.
Would you not want to watch that?
I don't know yet.
How many underwater horror movies have there been? None.
Big Shark.
Besides Big Shark.
Big Shock.
Big Shark and Deep Blue Sea. That's about it.
Hey, I like Deep
That's
Blue
a
Sea.
good movie.
Deep Blue Sea?
Yeah.
Yes.
Sure.
Is that LL Cool J, right?
Yes.
That one? Yeah, that's a good movie.
Samuel L. Jackson.
Didn't you end up getting on a previously viewed Deep Blue Sea 2?
Yes, my brother loves any shark movie, so I bought
You bought
two
that for
shitty
him?
shark movies, yeah. Not for me.
Did you ever see or anything about Deep Blue Sea 2? No. So I remember the very first trailer I saw for that, deviating here, is it pretty much looks like they took Deep Blue Sea 1 and did it again. With a few slightly different people and like a couple different upgrades. Other than that, it's like the same fucking script.
They could have just called it a reboot then, not a sequel.
I don't know. That's what the trailer
Straight
made
to
it.
DVD.
That's what this trailer made it look like to me. So I was like, nope, not interested. Because like you said, I enjoyed the first one. I loved, especially the whole Samuel L. Jackson just getting on his soapbox and just immediately finishes his sentence and then gets eaten. One of the best parts about that whole movie.
Hasn't he said that's his favorite on-screen death? Or
Probably.
Yeah.
It's a great on-screen death.
Yeah, it's a great on-screen death.
That movie reminds me of Lake Placid. You ever seen Lake Placid?
Mm-hmm.
A lot like that.
The
sharks.
The other great part about that movie was when LL Cool J needed to give his last will and testament, so he gets the video camera and then tells how to make the best perfect 3 omelet egg with 2 eggs.
I remember that part.
So how did he do it?
Huh?
How did he do
I
it?
don't fucking remember.
But no recipes here on Backlot 605.
Nope, none at all. But LL is awesome in Deep Blue Sea. Anyway,
Anyway,
Anyway, no trench movie. I'm out.
You're out, Chris. Would you be in or out?
It's a horror movie. I'm out.
All right.
Yeah.
I don't do that shit.
I'm in.
He is your opposite when it comes to horror movies.
Antagonist.
That's all right.
Yeah.
We all need that.
Yeah.
So Aaron Taylor Johnson has been announced for the Kingsman prequel.
Prequel? Yes.
Prequel? Yes, with Matthew Vaughn.
Yes.
So they're reuniting once again from Kingsman. Kingsman Kick-Ass.
From Kick-Ass. Yes. Get your shit right.
So, I don't know. It doesn't really say what he's going to play.
No.
There's been some rumors, but that's about it.
I'm good with it. I am. I mean, so far the people that they've shown for casting wise for this, I think they're doing. I mean, Daniel Bruhl, Stanley Tucci. I mean, they're not. He's not half-assing it for and he's not saying this is a replacement for the Kingsman 3. The Kingsman 3 is still going to be coming. So Taron Egerton still has Eggsy. So this is to kind of show how the Kingsman came about. I like this idea.
Matthew Vaughn's never half-assed it, though.
Right.
In anything. I think he's one of the most underrated directors out there.
Especially for action.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Still, one of my favorite action scenes ever is that in that original Kingsman, the church scene.
Yes.
Perfect.
It's so, and it's disturbing and exciting, and you just said when you get done, you're like, that was Colin Firth
beating up a bunch of religious people in that
yes.
church.
That was probably one of my biggest draws to the original Kingsman. Was Colin Firth going all like epic, like over the top James Bond.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's what Matthew Vaughn does best.
Mm-hmm.
That over the top, yet somewhat gritty action.
Ooh, could you imagine? So when side note, when they get done with Bond 25 and they move on to a new director and they move on to a new Bond, Matthew Vaughn taking on Bond.
Yes, he needs. I get Kingsman is a franchise. Kick-Ass is technically a franchise, but he needs something on that level. He was a long time rumored for a Star Wars movie.
Yeah,
X-Men.
Yeah, and he's got the X-Men.
Yeah, the one, and then freaking pulled it away from him.
Well,
For kind of an asshole. Not to get into that, but
yeah, but if who's to say that we wouldn't have what we have out of Matt Vaughn if it wasn't for the fact he was taken away from the X-Men series
true.
either, though, too.
I think he brought the best X-Men movie too. It's still my favorite.
First Class, yeah.
First Class, yeah. Easily.
I mean,
Days of Future Past is the best.
I think it depends on which version you're watching.
Wait, what?
The road cut or the
Yeah,
original one?
there's actually two versions of
I've
it.
never seen the road cut. I haven't
Yeah,
heard of it.
because the road cut actually they change up a lot of it and actually include a lot more of her, and it gives a little bit more. It's different.
Better.
Well, part of me is also kind of the one thing about Days of Future Past that annoys me though is if you go back to the source material, who's sending Wolverine back in time or everything like that, they change the story and everything like that. So I don't know. I think, but who's to say that if it wasn't for Matt Vaughn getting back on track, creating First Class, and even though it was taken away from him, look at the cast he created and was able to continue on a brand that was potentially on its last legs for Fox.
Exactly. I think he brought the best performance we've ever seen from anyone playing Xavier or Magneto in First Class.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's...
Well, okay, I'll say that for the same sake of, I didn't picture James McAvoy at first, but now, he's totally Xavier.
Yep.
That, for me, does not take away from the ultimate man ever to play Xavier would be Patrick Stewart. Yeah. He's always been the fan favorite since before there was an X-Men movie in existence.
Oh, absolutely. He's the comic book Xavier.
Yes.
Just like Hugh Jackman Wolverine is the movie Wolverine.
Yeah.
He's not the comic book Wolverine.
No, and I'm still scared when he gets recast eventually.
I'm not, because I have a hot take. I'm not the biggest fan of his Wolverine.
Damn.
You fail.
I know.
You're off the island.
I'm gonna get all the hate comments.
I'm gonna just
like a few weeks ago when I said the Wolverine is my favorite of his trilogy.
Yeah, we need to work on your taste in music. Or
taste in
movies.
music.
No.
Yeah, I just want him. I want to see a comic book accurate Wolverine and see what that would be like on the big screen.
It wouldn't play well, I don't think.
Well, not after what's happened with Wolverine now.
Well, yeah, because he's dead.
Well, spoiler alert. But
if one hasn't seen Logan, they're just SOL.
Yeah, but like he's like ultimate superhero badass now. I want a gruff, weird Canadian guy that lives in the woods that's just a hairy animal.
That's what he is in the comics?
Mm-hmm.
I don't...
He's like 4'5", crazy man that smokes cigars and drinks scotch out in the Canadian wilderness.
It just...
All right.
So you just... All of a sudden I just pictured you saying that they recast Wolverine with Peter Dinklage.
He's a little taller than Peter Dinklage, but about Danny DeVito height. But don't cast Wolverine as Danny DeVito. No.
Oh my god, that'd be hilarious.
No.
Little fat pudgy. over the hill Wolverine. He's got the receding hairline, but you still pull it out.
I just think of his cameo in Austin Powers and Goldmember, and he has the big cigar. Hey, asshole! I'm mini-me! Look at me!
Right.
Like, that would be his Wolverine. Okay, on second thought, please cast Danny DeVito as Wolverine.
Hold on a second here. Wasn't there something in here about the whole, like, penguin thing for the Batman?
Oh, I sent that to you. We can talk about it.
Yeah. Because there's been a couple that I've seen that I'm really interested by.
That's one. I want to see the Penguin as the first villain.
Well, because I know what I didn't actually read the article and whatnot, but I did hear that Jack Black wants to play the Penguin. The other one that I saw that really took me aback, but I really am like, okay, you've got my attention, especially because somebody did some sort of like fan art on it. Steve Carell
As the Penguin?
as the Penguin. And the fan art that I saw had him in, like in a profile view, and elongated nose in like the nice, tailored tuxedo. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was sharp. Gave him the monocle and whatnot. So it was almost like an in-between from Gotham and traditional Penguin.
Okay, I want that.
And I think depending on how they do the Batman would definitely depend. Do you go traditional comic book style, fat pudgy man, Danny DeVito style, or do you go? Because that's one thing I did like about how they cast the Penguin in the Gotham series, is he was different and whatnot. But the way that they did it, like he's tall, he's gangly.
I think you can do a mixture of both.
It worked, and I think Carell would have the range to be able to pull off a demented, not quite all there Penguin.
Foxcatcher.
I was not a fan of Foxcatcher.
Yeah, we talked about that. You can use the same nose from that movie, so.
Yep.
Maybe a little bit more elongated.
What about this? Zach Galifianakis. To finally
Not
have
as the Penguin.
Your dark character.
Not
right
as
there.
the Penguin.
No?
No.
Shave his beard?
Okay. As much as I'm not a beard guy, I can't grow a beard. I've learned to accept that.
He needs his beard.
He fucking looks weird as shit without his beard. Like the only thing that I can watch Zach Galifianakis in that doesn't creep me out without his beard is Between Two Ferns.
It's still a little creepy.
There you go. Yes, that right there. Yes, that is the Penguin picture.
I like that.
Yes.
Yep.
I think he could totally pull it off.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Another name I know that's been thrown around quite a bit for this.
What?
Josh Gad. I think he threw his name into that.
I would take Josh Gad, obviously, before Galifianakis. I do think Galifianakis definitely needs a horror. He needs some sort of villain role. But actually, I think Gad actually would have the range for that, too. And I think that would be kind of one of those ones where it would be like his introduction into something like that to give him more opportunities going forward.
I was about to say, I've never seen him play dark, though.
No,
That's the
he
only
hasn't.
thing I would be a little worried about.
Yeah.
Not saying he doesn't have the range, but we haven't seen it yet. So.
Right. And that's what I'm saying is that, but you typically find that some of your most comedic people are also the darkest, who can do both comedy and the super dark where you need it.
Mm-hmm. That's why I think Steve Carell. That's my pick right now.
Yeah.
Steve
And that's
Carell
where it's
is
like,
perfect.
I know Zach Galifianakis can do dark. We just need to find the dark role for him. But yes, Steve Carell for the Penguin, hands down. I'd be all for that.
I like that you brought that up, though. I like that casting.
Yes. Well, I know because I saw you think about Jack Black. I'm like, maybe.
I could see Jack Black playing Dark, though.
Well, he can play dark, but my question is, do we end up with a Danny DeVito Penguin, Steve Carell Penguin kind of thing? Or do you get, like, I don't know, I don't know. Like, I picture, like, it going off the rails like Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones, villains, where it just seems, it might be a little too much.
Do you got a problem with Jim Carrey's Riddler?
Since we haven't seen another Riddler, no.
We have seen it on the Gotham show.
I never actually saw I never saw Enigma as the Riddler in the show because I never got past that far. But no, for me, that whole movie is just over the top, just like mind bending.
Before we get to the game, I want to throw out my Riddler because I think Riddler and Penguin should be like the first two people he fights.
Okay.
Neil Patrick Harris as the Riddler.
Oh yeah,
Could see that.
could totally see that.
Yeah.
He could play the zany and the dark all in one. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Gone Girl. Great in Gone Girl.
Oh,
Yeah.
he was that one just yeah. Anyway.
All right.
Yes.
Let's get it started.
So we got a hat with about 50 different options here.
I thought you cut it down.
We're not going to do them all.
Yeah.
But we
Are
got
you gonna-
50
are you
different
gonna-
options to. I'll
Are
keep
you gonna
track, yes.
count?
I'll count. I can count to about. I'm going to have to use one of your guys' hands because I only got 20 between my toes and fingers.
I was gonna say, just take your socks off.
I will have to. Sorry.
Otherwise, that's only 12.
Yeah.
5, 1, 2.
Yeah. So, basically, we're going to pull different options out of a hat. One will live on forever, and one will never have existed. So.
Until you stop listening to this, and then it'll all come back in for.
Yes, and then it'll be okay once again.
Yes.
So, all right. I got the first one here. Blade versus Hellboy.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, Blade versus Hellboy. Which one do you want to keep, and which one do you want to be gone forever? This is a tough one.
A little bit.
Because for me, I haven't actually watched the Hellboy movies, so that's where I'm kind of leaning towards.
How have you not watched the Hellboy movies?
Right?
You're a Del Toro fan.
I know, and that's the most American movie he's done.
Pretty much. And Ron Perlman is amazing.
But here comes my problem. Blade 2 is like one of my favorite superhero movies.
And that's Guillermo.
And that's Del Toro,
And that's
too.
Del Toro too, but we're not talking. But if you release Blade 1, then Blade 2 never happened. So I'll pick Hellboy to keep. We'll get rid of Blade. And that means Wesley Snipes can show up in a Netflix series or something.
I think as much as I enjoy Hellboy, I like the weird arc, even as over the top campy as people give shit to Blade Trinity. I'd almost have to go Blade because I want to see that one continue. That one needs to come to get back into Marvel's hands and be not necessarily maybe rebooted, but to
have a Marvel spin on it.
Yes,
So you're going to keep
I'd keep Blade.
Keep Blade.
I'd keep Blade.
Get rid of Hellboy. I mean, we are getting the reboot.
Yeah.
So that one's still there.
Yeah.
Ooh, there you go. There's my out.
There you go.
I'm keeping Blade. Yep.
Get rid of Hellboy.
Yep. Star Trek 2009 versus The Force Awakens.
So J.J. Abrams movies. His
J.J. Abrams reboots.
Oh, well, how do you call The Force Awakens as a reboot?
Well, whatever. You know what
reimaginations.
Reimagination.
I'd call it a remake, personally.
I'm keeping Force Awakens, obviously.
Because you're a Star Wars nerd.
There's a Force Awakens poster.
So
right
here's
there.
the thing. So if I keep the Star Trek and get rid of Force Awakens, then that means like Episode 7 never gets made ever, right? That's what we're talking about. Or like, does Episode 7 get made, but just in like a different way?
Possibly in a different way, for better or worse.
Okay.
You might have Jar Jar in Episode 7 in this alternate universe.
I think for the sake of that, we are not done with the trilogy of Star Wars for this iteration. I honestly would want to keep Star Trek. Just because I don't know what's to say if Episode 9 basically kills everything that's been done. Like, it's going to make its money, but who's to say it doesn't turn into the worst Star Wars movie that it even eclipses The Phantom Menace for worst movie.
Attack of the Clones is worse.
Well, depends who you ask, I suppose. Because depending on which way you watch the movies, the Phantom Menace isn't even in there. Where at least I have a beginning, a middle, and an end to the Star Trek for the reboot. And since they've since curbed Star Trek 4, like I said, I've got a good solid, people have issue with the last Star Trek movie for Star Trek Beyond. I actually enjoyed it. You can tell it was, well, yeah, and you can definitely tell like a fan wrote the script because you got it co-written by Simon Pegg. You can definitely tell it's got Simon Pegg's like stamp all over that script, and I would hate to see that leave. And it's Justin Lin.
Chris, did you pick?
I'm keeping Force Awakens. Star Trek's a better movie, but I'm keeping Force Awakens.
How's that work?
That totally works, though.
No, you're
the only thing I would throw out for the Star Wars argument, whether you hate it or not, I love Rey and Kylo Ren, and you wouldn't ever have those two characters if you didn't have Force Awakens. You'd still have Kirk and Spock, and dozens of others.
They have to get rid of that really weird, awkward scene where it's almost like where they're having that little Force connection thing, and Kylo Ren's got his shirt off and everything like that.
That's the Last Jedi, though.
It's only because his pants were too high. That's it. I loved it, except his pants were too high, and I'm like, just pull your pants down.
It's just.
I mean, like not all the way off, but just a little bit.
Casey's over there going, "Show me the goods.
Show me the lightsaber." All right.
Why
Brian.
did you hand that back to him? Oh,
I don't know.
I'm comfortable. Oh, that's not even fair. Ghostbusters 1 and 2 versus Gremlins 1 and 2. That is totally fucking not fair. That is my fucking childhood. God damn it.
I threw quite a bit of ones that I knew it's just you would have a struggle with, Brian.
Fucking A. Because, the part I get a kick out of is that, Ghostbusters 1, Gremlins 1 are both the stronger of the two of each of them, But as goofy as both the sequels are, they're so fun. Like, I love the freaking genetic shit that they pulled off in Gremlins 2.
Gremlins 2 is like an old school 1950s weird science fiction horror movie.
Yeah, and probably one of my favorite parts is when they start going through the metamorphosis with all the genetic re-engineering for the Gremlins, is when the bat one flies out through the window and creates the bat symbol. Oh,
Hulk Hogan has a great cameo.
Yes. Oh my God. Ghostbusters. Here, I will. Go ahead. I have to reel over this again. This is my childhood right here.
Since we're talking about how much Gremlins 2 is amazing, I'm gonna keep that one.
Keep Gremlins.
Keep the Gremlins one. As much, God, it's just might be the toughest one that we have in there. But yeah, I might keep Gremlins.
How about you, Chris?
I've never seen Gremlins, so I gotta keep Ghostbusters.
We need to get you to watch Gremlins.
Yeah, I guess.
Well, what was the one you just said that you hadn't seen? Oh, Hellboy. Boy, we all need to do our homework, huh? Oh, and it just had the one guy from Gremlins just pass away, too. It would almost seem sacrilegious to take it from him. Original Gremlins, Corey Feldman, too.
Mm-hmm. This is like Brian's life flashing before his eyes right now.
You're goddamn right it is, fucker. I'm going to go with Gremlins. I absolutely loved Gremlins 2, as campy, over the top, weird as it was.
That's the only reason I would take it, because I think Gremlins 2 is better than Ghostbusters 2. Dodgeball versus Semi-Pro.
Dodgeball.
Yeah, Dodgeball.
Do you like... I know you wrote this one. Do you like Semi-Pro?
I was just trying to go with the sports
ones? Okay.
Yeah. I think Semi-Pro is good.
I hate Semi-Pro. That's where I started to hate Will Ferrell.
I dislike Will Ferrell enough that I never even had the inclination to watch it.
Oh.
Yeah, it's bad.
I don't know. At the baseball team I was on when I was in high school, that was like a movie we'd watch on road trips, I guess. So
your baseball team needs to work on their taste.
Could at least watch Sandlot or something,
right?
I don't think we
Rookie of the Year.
Field of Dreams.
All right, Lion King versus Toy Story.
Another one that's gonna kill Brian.
What?
This is my childhood too.
Yeah, exactly.
This is all going away.
Your childhood is ruined.
You killing the childhood.
Just like the 2016 Ghostbusters did.
I'd actually have to get rid of The Lion King. I could not live without having Toy Story, because that is such a great trilogy of movies that are about to become a quadrilogy.
Keep Toy Story.
Toy Story all the way. all Lion King has really done is sported a couple direct-to-DVD sequels and a TV show.
Yeah, but that first one's so good.
That's good, but I mean,
Oscar
and sides,
nominated. Good.
you can get rid of the Lion King and still have the Lion King.
Why?
Because if the Hellboy reboot qualifies, then so does the Lion King.
But if the Disney animated one had never happened, they're not going to be doing this live action one.
How do you know? Disney makes other
That's true.
live action without it being based on.
I'll go Toy Story.
That you're going to kill Toy Story?
They can't
No,
make
keep-
Toy Story
no,
live
keep-
action.
Oh,
Toy
okay,
Story,
good.
yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah. I had more Toy Story toys growing up than Lion King ones,
I-
so that's my.
I'm still waiting for the John Wick doll to show up in Toy Story 4.
Oh, boy.
Might be waiting quite a while.
Well, I think it's hilarious. So, I mean, we've seen an extensive look of Key and Peele's characters in Toy Story, but we haven't seen anything for Keanu Reeves yet.
I hope he plays like an action figure, but it's like a mixture of John Wick and his Point Break character and Neo from The Matrix. Just like an amalgamation of all of them.
Maybe it'll be Ted.
Ted.
All right. Somebody went on the Tarantino kick and went with the Inglourious Bastards versus Django Unchained.
Yeah, this one was mine, I think.
And did you write this?
I did.
You gotta
Probably
learn how to spell bastards correctly.
I think it's spelled...
No, it's spelled wrong in the movie.
Yeah.
The title's wrong.
No, the title's actually.
I don't
So
think
Did I spell it right?
you spelt it like the human being should spell
Okay.
it, but in terms of the actual Inglourious Bastards, you spelled it wrong.
Okay.
But on that note, I would have to keep Django. I think that was very well. I think that was better written. Well, there's personally myself. I don't think there's a badly written Tarantino movie. I think the dynamic between Christoph Waltz and Jamie Foxx, Leonardo DiCaprio, just overall was good. Very well directed. Very well over the top for his getting into his country western movies. Mm-hmm. This might have been a better, harder one if you would have done Django versus The Hateful Eight.
Maybe.
Chris?
Well, I chose these two because I think these are his two greatest back-to-back films as far as in his career. Because I think like those two together are better than Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction. You know, so I think those years was peak Tarantino so far. So far. I want to stress.
He's over here going peak Tarantino so far. I'm like, personally, Tarantino's never left the peak.
Yeah, I don't think
Well,
there's been
I'm
a
not-
peak. It's been a pretty steady ride.
Yeah.
Tarantino's like, I started with that whole indie thing, and then I just kind of I'm staying up here.
I'm keeping Inglourious Bastards. I think that has the more rewatch value. It's a lot more fun.
It's a lot more fun because you get to watch what somebody would do if they had the opportunity to kill Hitler.
See, I find it the opposite way. I can't rewatch Inglourious Bastards. I get really bored at the beginning.
You just gotta get
You have to get past the
dialogue.
The dialogue.
That's like the best opening scene ever.
I get bored by it.
Ah,
Because you're talking about the part where he's in the house talking to the dad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's like Tarantino
Oh, yeah.
101. I mean, that would be like going to, even like a Kevin Smith movie or something like that. Somebody that is very dialogue driven and be like, God, there's so much fucking talking.
Didn't help that was the first Tarantino I tried to watch. Glorious Bastard.
Really?
Yeah. It took Pulp Fiction for me to finally okay, I get it now.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm going to go Django Unchained. That's my favorite Tarantino movie ever. So
Yeah.
that's the one I'm keeping. It's got the action. It's got the dialogue. Great acting.
Before you grab that real quick here, because you watched Hateful Eight, right?
I haven't watched that one yet. No.
Okay, then never mind.
Okay.
Because it won't make any context to you other than a $40,000 guitar.
Yep.
Oh, you heard about that?
Yeah.
Oh, Brian's going to love this one.
Now what? Now
This
you
one's
trying to
yes.
destroy my childhood again?
No. This one's going to destroy your future one way or the other.
Okay.
Because neither of these movies have come out yet.
Okay.
Jay and Silent Bob Reboot or Bill and Ted 3.
Fuck you. God damn it. You really are picking on me today, aren't you?
That one was specifically for you.
Fuck.
So one of these will never happen.
Do we need to give you
At this
a moment?
Well, no, that's not what I was thinking at this point right now until I see the word filming.
For Bill and Ted.
Technically, one of them isn't happening.
But you could will it into existence right now.
Well, you heard about the whole... Yeah, the Twitter verified thing for Bill and Ted, right?
Yeah.
God damn it. Fuck. Fuck you.
Right here, right now on the Backlot 605 podcast, you can will Bill and Ted 3 into existence.
I want to go Bill and Ted 3 because I need to see Bill and Ted 3. Because at some point here, Kevin Smith will figure out something else to do. Mm-hmm. I'll still have Kevin Smith, so give me Bill and Ted 3. I need Alex Winter and Keanu Reeves back on the screen again.
I haven't seen either Bill and Ted movies, and the only Kevin Smith movie I've seen is Clerks. So I think I would.
We need to educate this man.
I know. But I'm probably saving Jay and Silent Bob if I had to pick.
I think I'll go with Brian. Bill and Ted 3. You've only had 2 in Bill and Ted appearance. You've had how many? Jay and Silent Bob.
Well, Clerks, Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Jay and Silent Bob.
Dog.
So, yeah, 6. So yeah, 6.
Yeah. So that's where I'll give it to. We've had. Not saying we've never had enough Jay and Silent Bob, but
No, you can never have enough Jay and Silent Bob. And I'm looking forward to that just because of the vegan jokes now.
I want the cameos.
Oh, fuck, right?
All right. Social Network versus Wolf of Wall Street.
You're talking about some award-winning movies right there, including how many fucks can you have in a movie award?
I got my pick.
What's your pick?
Wolf of Wall Street.
Why? Margot Robbie?
Margot Robbie.
That is true.
And it's my favorite Leonardo DiCaprio performance. So
Yeah, and it's that whole typical, like, you know, Leo and Martin Scorsese just, you know, muse kind of thing. Like, they just mesh so well with each other.
I feel like I'm saving Wolf of Wall Street because you bring up a good point because we might not have her career if that movie doesn't get made.
That is valid. That is very valid.
I hate to do this to my boy Justin Timberlake, though. That's the only thing I would. It pains me to do
David
that.
Fincher,
Yeah.
Aaron Sorkin.
Yeah, that was... I know, that movie's so very well done. That was one of my favorite movies that
Pretty
year.
sure that movie has 100 on a Metacritic, as far as I know.
You know, honestly, I think I would have to go with The Social Network because I still think that even if Wolf of Wall Street never got made, I think Margot Robbie would still have ended up with a career in Hollywood. I still think she would still ended up as Harley Quinn. And I think for the sake of the writing and everything, I mean, I remember that year there was 2 movies that were on the top of my list for best movies that year. And one of them was The Social Network for like your dramatic side. The other one was Horrible Bosses for the comedy side of things. So, yeah, I think that you're still going to always end up with the Leonardo Martin Scorsese. I don't think they're going to stop working until one of them is dead.
Yep.
And I still think that of all the cast members that you had in Wolf of Wall Street will still have good, exciting careers, including Margot Robbie. I mean, look at Jonah Hill. I mean, that was one of, you know, the couple when he was really started getting into, like, the dramatic side. I think he'd still be there. So I'm going with The Social Network.
Next pick.
Really? Either
Gotta read it.
I can't tell what it is. So
I read your list, so this must have come from his because this is shit.
I don't know.
The live-action Grinch versus the live-action Cat in the Hat. That's not... I'm sorry, that is not even a question.
Can we choose both? Actually, no.
No.
I'm sorry.
No.
you got to
You're
keep
talking about
one.
the Jim Carrey one, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
My bad.
No. Hands down, Cat in the Hat can go to hell.
So the Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey
Grinch
will live.
and the Mike Myers Cat in the Hat. So you're keeping the Jim Carrey Grinch.
Oh, my God. That shouldn't have even been in the questions.
Chris?
Jim Carrey, Grinch is
What?
classic.
Aren't you... Is
Yeah,
it...
I'm picking Cat in the Hat.
No, I know. Isn't your next pick, though?
Yes, I know.
Wait, you're saving Cat in the
I'm
Hat?
saving Cat in the Hat.
What the-
fucking
what?
hate that Grinch movie.
What?
The Cat in the Hat movie is a stupid comedy that has nothing to do with the Dr. Seuss shit at all, but goddamn it makes me laugh.
Now we need to... You can't kick him off the island again.
It's a stupid comedy and probably destroyed Mike Myers' career, but it still makes me laugh.
God, no.
I hate that Jim Carrey Grinch movie so much.
It's a
But
classic.
but think,
No.
just think, the little girl grows up to be a rock star.
Exactly.
Very
She's still going to have her rock star career.
Fuck
We
you.
never have to see creepy-ass Jim Carrey in his green-ass costume.
I'm gonna call him up and tell him to dress up as the Grinch just to piss you
Show
off.
up at my house and scare the shit out of me. All right, we got some classics here. Citizen Kane versus Wizard of Oz.
Wizard of Oz. Mainly because I still need to get around seeing Citizen Kane.
You suck.
Okay, you...
Citizen Kane is a lot older, and it's Citizen Kane.
So?
Wait. I think Wizard of Oz is older than Citizen Kane, isn't it?
I'll look it up. Anyway.
I had to see Citizen Kane in my high school film class. I'm really glad I took that class. Otherwise, I would have never watched that movie.
Yeah, I watched it in a college film class.
1941 for Citizen Kane. And I think Wizard of Oz is, it's its 80th anniversary, right, this year.
This year?
Yeah.
It's 39.
Yeah.
Wizard of Oz.
There we go.
Boom! Go for the classics. We go for the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, I feel like I'm saving Wizard of Oz.
This one pains me.
Hey, you wrote it.
I know. Well, I stole, one of his and one of mine.
Mine was Citizen Kane versus Casablanca.
Never seen either
I've
one.
never seen Casablanca. That's why I took that one out. So,
Yeah.
fuck. I'll pick Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, Mister
Yeah.
is. It's
But
my favorite movie.
Literally, I do think Citizen Kane is one of the greatest movies ever. So is Wizard of Oz, but I'll pick Wizard of Oz.
All right. Fast and Furious franchise versus every Pixar movie.
God, I hate you.
All right, we got a lot to think about now here. Do we though?
Bye-bye, Pixar.
Do we though?
Wait, what?
Bye-bye,
I was
Pixar.
gonna say this is a pretty easy one for me. I picked Pixar. You don't have Toy Story at all, then.
Huh?
You're not gonna get Toy Story.
Yeah. Bugs Life.
That's a whole different.
Incredibles.
That's a whole different conversation we were having.
Why?
This is on a one-on-one case basis. I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
You're saving Vin Diesel.
I fucking
Over Woody and Buzz?
I fucking love those movies.
Oh my goodness.
I don't care how much shit he wants to give about the whole we go from stealing DVD players to bulletproof Idris Elba.
I love these movies too, but honestly, you're gonna pick them over every Pixar movie.
Every Pixar movie.
Toy Stories, Bugs Life, Incredibles,
Wall-E
Ratatouille,
and Inside
Wall-E,
Out are like the greatest films ever made.
Coco.
Like,
I still need to get. I have Coco. I still need to watch
Coco is
Coco.
the best of all of them.
I need me some Dominic Toretto in my life. I need me.
Coronas.
He's picking the Coronas over the toys.
I am. I'm sorry. I know that I'm the odd man out here, but I'm stupid looking forward to Hobbs and Shaw. I'm totally looking forward to what is to come. The next two movies. I need these in my life. And I hope that in like 10 years that, Universal's like, well, we need to reboot them because we need to make more.
They probably will.
Oh, that's funny. So me and Chris are both picking Pixar.
That's,
All
that,
right.
yeah.
Brian's gonna stick with his Coronas and fast cars.
Fuck yeah. Little Ludacris and
Tyrese.
The Omen versus Rosemary's Baby.
I threw that one out there. I'm not sure if anyone has seen, if either of you have seen both of these. So,
I've never seen the originals nor the remakes of either one of them.
Rosemary's Baby doesn't have a remake. Omen does.
Would you like to confirm that?
Yes, they have it is a TV movie remake of Rosemary's Baby.
Was Zoe Saldana?
Yes, TV movie.
Yep, it is a TV.
Boom.
It's still a movie.
Actually, Annabelle is technically a Rosemary's Baby ripoff.
From what I remember, I'm going to go with The Omen.
I'm gonna go Rosemary. I'll go Rosemary's Baby.
I feel like I can't even pick one. 'Cause I have no
He's over going,
I have no idea.
I don't
Which
watch
one
it.
do you want to watch least?
Which one's not as scary?
Both scary in a different way. Omen, you get the creepy kid throughout. Rosemary's Baby is kind of the conception of a creepy kid.
The conception of a
I feel
creepy
like I'm
kid?
Saying,
I don't
saving
wanna-
Rosemary's Baby. I feel like
Yes, that ending
I don't know.
is one of the greatest horror movie endings. Troy versus 300.
300. I love the style. I think it was very well done. I mean, very artistic like. Troy's good. But I mean, it did the whole typical like, well, Brad Pitt's our hot actor in Hollywood right now. Let's make him half naked and put him on screen.
Yep,
What's wrong with that?
that's true.
Oh, and there's nothing. I mean, like I said, overall, I mean, it's a good movie. But,
Literally everyone in 300's half naked
yeah.
or naked.
Or naked, yes.
Yeah.
But no, 300 hands down. Not a question.
I think I'm saving Troy.
I'll go 300. The stylistic point of view. Still
Yeah.
my favorite Zack Snyder movie.
Yes.
So that's what I'll go with. And you get Michael Fassbender with no shirt on.
I mean, 300 is almost like, almost like Sin City to Robert Rodriguez.
Forrest Gump versus Castaway.
Couple Zemeckis, Tom Hanks movies.
Mm-hmm. And the verdict is, Casey?
Castaway.
What?
Yeah.
Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump.
I don't like Forrest Gump very much.
Why not?
Yeah. I don't. It bores me.
He has
I
a
get
problem.
it.
He has a problem with Captain with Lieutenant Dan.
No, Lieutenant Dan's the best part of that damn
He
movie.
is.
But Tom Hanks and a volleyball. It's all it takes to make a great movie.
There was a Reddit post not that long ago that the question was who's the greatest, or what character in movies has the greatest arc of all time, and Lieutenant Dan was one of the more popular answers.
Because it's fucking Lieutenant Dan.
Lieutenant Dan.
Tell me where there's an entire restaurant franchise based off of Castaway with really good food.
Oh, I wish there was. I would eat there. Call it Wilson or something like that.
Yeah.
You get there and it's just a bunch of sand.
Yeah. They serve you drinks out of a half a volleyball.
There you go.
Yeah.
Half of a coconut.
Yeah.
Peter Pan versus Hook.
Which Peter Pan?
The Disney.
The
version.
Disney. Yeah, he even had to make that
Yes.
note.
The animated Disney?
Yep.
I'm saving Peter Pan.
I'm Hook all the way. Freaking Dustin Hoffman as Captain Hook.
Rufio.
Rufio. Glenn Close dressed up as a man.
Robin Williams.
What?
What are you talking? What?
I've never seen Hooks. You're blowing my mind right
Spielberg.
now.
Here's why I'm not picking the Disney version.
Because it's animated?
No. It does not age well at all.
No, it does not.
No. The Red Man song. I'll just leave it there. All right, we're going to go 1980s science fiction movies here.
Weird Science?
No.
Damn it.
Terminator versus RoboCop.
Terminator. As much as I don't have a problem with Peter Weller, you can't not have Terminator in our lives. I don't care how many potentially bad or not so fond sequels that they have made. You got to have the Terminator.
So is RoboCop.
What with
Had some
bad
bad
sequels?
sequels and remakes.
Yeah,
I'll go Terminator.
Terminator.
Because then you get Terminator 2.
Yeah, because who's to say that it wouldn't have stifled the career of the James Cameron?
Probably. We wouldn't not have the Arnold we have now without Terminator, probably.
We wouldn't have had the Governator.
The Governator.
Get to the job.
The Room versus Troll 2.
Yes. Here's where we get our shitty movies.
I'm just gonna sit back here and just go, what the hell?
I've never seen either, so I don't know. I feel like you have to save The Room though. It's like the definition of bad.
That's like the
cult
that's like the pop culture go to now.
Go to bad movie.
The go to bad movie.
Troll 2 has a documentary literally called Best Worst Movie, though.
Well, I'll still save The Room for shits and giggles.
This is probably the toughest one for me, honestly. There's two great films, well acted. No,
Really?
No,
Did-
they're not. The two of the
I was
worst
like, how were you putting those words in
those
the same
two are
sentence?
literally the best worst movies. I'll keep Troll 2.
Gonna kick him off the...
Actually, no, I'll keep The Room because then we get to Disaster Artist.
Yeah, exactly.
All right,
Alright. Jaws versus Jurassic Park.
Jaws.
Jaws? You want to keep Jaws?
Yes.
I have to go with Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Sam Jackson. If it wasn't for Jurassic Park, we wouldn't have Jurassic World. We wouldn't have this phenom that is...
That's a bad thing if we don't have Jurassic World.
I like Chris Pratt.
I like Chris Pratt too.
And so between that and Guardians and everything else he's doing, we just need more Chris Pratt in our lives. And if, say we didn't have Jurassic Park, we wouldn't have Jurassic World and maybe less Chris Pratt.
I'm keeping Jaws all the way. Jaws is one of my favorite movies ever. Roy Scheider. I can't believe you guys are...
Steven Spielberg if we didn't have Jaws.
Yeah.
Because that was his first one. His first big one.
You wouldn't have the modern blockbuster without Jaws.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It is. There's too much history with Jaws, and I think Jaws is one of the greatest movies ever.
Oh, that thing. Okay. I
So
remember
when that one was all done, was that the highest grossing film? Jaws?
At its release.
Uh-huh.
hmm
Holy
It's
shit.
literally why you have the blockbuster. That's how that term got coined. It's because of Jaws. There's
You
people
are correct.
literally lining around the block to watch this movie.
I never knew that's what that meant.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Still keeping Jurassic Park?
Yes.
think so.
I'm kind of a hater today, aren't I?
You are a
A
hater.
little bit with Jurassic Park.
You are a hater.
Just a hater. All right, what do we got next here? Back to the Future versus Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Back to the Future.
You're what?
Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Keeping Raiders?
Uh-huh.
Brian's going to kill us
Yeah.
because I'm going to agree.
No.
Keeping Raiders of the Lost Ark.
See, you know what's good about the Back to the Future series? Zemeckis and Bob Gale knew when to say stop.
You don't like Kingdom of the Crystal Skull? Is that what you're trying to say?
I'm saying they were jumping the shark by that point.
They're swinging with monkeys by that point.
You know, it's just no. Zemeckis and Gale have both got on record to basically say that they will never have another sequel or anything like that over their dead bodies, and even then they're going to write it into their fucking wills.
I can appreciate that.
You had a beginning, a middle, an end. It was done. We're done. No.
That's a different thing, though, because Indiana Jones is a serialized series. There is no really beginning, middle, end.
Yeah, but no. I mean, and like Raiders versus Temple of Doom, and I mean, serialized a little bit, yes, but there's not a whole lot of. There needs to be some little bit of continuity, a little bit of putting these together, like where Temple of Doom is almost kind of the comedy fit to the series, whereas the original is more serious. I mean, they're good fun movies. They just don't really have any sort of just like solid basis.
I don't think anything could top Back to the Future for you, could it?
No,
Okay.
and that's saying
I
something that
understand.
I'm a Goonies guy. So Goonies right here.
So if we change the topic to the trilogies, would anybody change their answer?
No, I wouldn't.
No.
But Back to the Future's been my thing since I was a kid.
Because it's only a trilogy. It doesn't have the fourth Indiana Jones.
All right. Shaun of the Dead versus Zombieland. I was kind of proud of myself for
I really dig this one.
That is a very son of a bitch. My mic. Sorry. And that's saying, and I'm right there with you because I enjoy both of those, and I think that's a very good pairing actually, and I'm looking forward to Zombieland 2. Double tap. The movie poster for that was genius. I have to go with Shaun of the Dead. I do. The romantic British comedy zombie movie, and basically helped propel Simon Pegg into the American mainstream, because before that all they really had was Spaced. Yeah, I have to go with Shaun of the Dead.
I'd be lying with myself if I picked Shaun of the Dead. That's the only problem.
You'd be lying to yourself.
Yeah, because I love Zombieland too much. Like, Zombieland is a movie I used to watch over and over again.
Well, and the one thing I give Zombieland credit for is that was our first iteration of Woody Harrelson and Jesse Eisenberg get together on screen. And, like, putting them together when they did Now You See Me, Now You See Me Too.
One of the greatest cameos ever in Zombieland.
Yeah.
Bill Murray.
I'm saving Shaun of the Dead.
The only caveat I would have with this is if we still get... what's the second one in the Cornetto trilogy?
Hot Fuzz.
Hot Fuzz.
Yeah.
That's the only thing. I'm like, that's a toss-up if we get that. So
Yeah, because then, if you don't have Shaun of the Dead, it's not... they're not direct sequels to the movies, but then you don't... Do you get Hot Fuzz? Do you get At World's End? Do you get... Does Edgar Wright get enough work in the United States to give us Baby Driver?
Or Scott Pilgrim versus...
Scott Pilgrim.
I just saw that movie less than 6 months ago. I fucking love it.
Does he get enough work into before he leaves Marvel to get us Ant-Man?
I'm still picking Zombieland. That's just the singular movie.
Look, Chris and I are both like watching the spider web grow, and you're just like, fuck it, I'm sticking
to my guns on this one. Only because I think he has, probably 3 better movies than Shaun of the Dead.
Say that? Well,
I think Scott Pilgrim's my favorite.
Yeah.
Probably Hot Fuzz, and then Baby Driver, then Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead really is that far down the...
Of those, yeah.
I think it's probably because you have such a high standard for horror. You're not appreciating the comedy.
Oh, I get the comedy. I just think the comedy's stronger in literally those other 3. Anyway, what's the next one?
Next one is... the X-Men trilogy versus the original Spider-Man trilogy.
2 movies started off strong.
Or both of them where the third movie jumps the shark.
Jumps the shark. Second one's probably the best out of both series. Very similar.
I guess I would have to go with... I'd have to go with X-Men just because finally gave us Patrick Stewart as the infamous Professor Xavier.
You crush over that pretty hard, don't you?
When I was reading comic books and before those movies were made, that is the only guy that you could ever have had in modern day cinema play. You know, he was just getting off of Star Trek: The Next Generation. There is nobody else that can play Old Man Xavier right now.
I'm going Spider-Man trilogy.
You have a man crush on Sam Raimi though.
That is true, and Spider-Man's my favorite superhero, so that's a pretty easy choice for me.
I'm saving X-Men.
But then you got X-Men: The Last Stand.
I know.
Yeah.
Okay, if I
But
throw
then
out,
we also have
if I threw out X-Men: The Last Stand versus Spider-Man 3, which one are you picking? Just between those two singular movies.
I'd go with The Last Stand. I give Brett Ratner credit for trying versus emo Tobey Maguire.
I don't think Brett Ratner was trying. At least Sam Raimi was trying. The studio wasn't. All right, next one. Mission Impossible franchise versus the James Bond franchise.
Ooh.
James Bond versus who?
Mission Impossible.
Oh, okay.
So you got, 6 Mission Impossible films, 24 Bonds?
So how do
This is a pretty easy pick for me.
that's a hard comparison though. I mean, 6 versus 24, literally, and you're talking about 2 decades versus 5 decades.
I'm going Bond.
I'm going Mission Impossible. That's my shit.
That shelf shit.
Uh-huh. Especially the last 3.
Yeah, I do think the last 3 are better than pretty much any Bond movie.
Even with the Daniel Craig ones and even the Pierce Brosnan ones.
I'm not in love with the Daniel Craig ones.
Skyfall?
I like Skyfall, and I think Casino Royale is my favorite of those.
I think I would have to go. I'd have to go with Mission Impossible as well. I really liked. I mean, he changed it up when there's more fluidity in between one to the next movie and whatnot now. But like how it started out as episodic, like the TV series, and they were almost standalone with whatnot. I really enjoyed how he started those.
The only reason I'm picking Bond is because it's way too culturally significant to have those movies. To have them never exist, you're not going to have your Kingsman, not going to have Austin Powers, probably not going to have Mission Impossible.
There's possibly.
Maybe.
So if you change it to Mission Impossible 3 through 6 versus Daniel Craig's 4 James Bond.
Oh, then Mission Impossible easily.
Mission Impossible.
Yes.
Alien franchise versus Predator franchise.
Do it
Get rid of one,
now.
then you get rid of the AVP franchise. Then what do you do?
I live my life the exact same way I do now.
You're like, then you won't have these. I'm like, have you seen those?
I've seen the first one, the first AVP.
First one's a love story.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Do it now. Pick the Predator.
No, I gotta pick Alien. I have to pick Alien. And that is even going to the fact that I would be losing Carl Weathers and Jesse the Body Ventura in The Predator.
Ain't got time to bleed.
Ain't got time to bleed. No, I'd have to go with Alien. Ridley Scott created, a really masterful. You got Ridley Scott, James Cameron. You've got...
But then you got Alien 3, Alien 4.
That's true.
I didn't hate Alien 3 as much as people give issue to it. I have a little bit of a problem with Resurrection. No, I even with those, I would still keep the Alien franchise. And that's even with the fact that Prometheus made no fucking sense. But also, that gives us Michael Fassbender as what, David is character's name and whatnot. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Having him play the modern day android is good. So I don't know. Yeah, I'm still going Alien.
Chris?
I'm saving Alien.
Predator. All the way.
Well, we knew that. You just had that look in your eye.
Yeah.
I did like the 2010 Predator film, Predators, where they're on the distant planet.
Right.
Adrian Brody.
I did really like that film.
You didn't or did?
I did.
And the new Predator's pretty decent. There's a few things I have issue with the new Predator. My biggest issue mainly is Olivia Munn. I like Olivia Munn. It was just her character arc in that just made no effing sense. She went from being, doctor studies this, wants to study the stars and stuff like that for like she's like a biologist kind of thing. So it looks like she's turned into like an army ranger by the end of it and fucking jumping off of cliffs, invisible, jumping onto the back of the predator, and it just took me out of it. Maybe worse than freaking Winona Ryder's android in Resurrection. Because at least Resurrection gave me Ron Perlman. All right, how about The Avengers versus Dark Knight?
The first one that popped up on both of me and Chris's list for this.
Yep.
It was The Avengers versus
versus the Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight. I enjoy
Then you might not have the MCU as you know it right
Yeah,
now.
we got to establish this for a second here. If you get rid of the Avengers, where does the MCU end? Is it done with Captain America: First Avenger? Or?
I would say yes. The Avengers never happens. So there's no team up.
So you never have
You
a team
never
up.
get the crossover.
So?
I am agreeing. I go with Dark Knight. Dark Knight's the greatest movie ever made.
So you don't have a movie that has them all together, because this is out of the context of which you have built said game. Using the Avengers doesn't work, because all that is just basically saying is, okay, so we omit what Avengers, Age of Ultron, stuff like that, but you still have independent movies.
Never get Thanos.
Who's to say you never get Thanos? You just don't have Thanos in the capacity he is right now.
I just need to establish this before I get my answer out here. All right, so for MCU, we would not have the Avengers 1, 2, and 3. Then that's it. We'd still have the rest of the MCU.
That's the way I'm getting it out of here.
Yeah, and you might not have the crossover at all.
Like Civil War.
Civil War you might not get.
Why not? It's not an Avengers movie.
Yeah.
But things that are set up in the Avengers would have to dictate. So technically, your MCU ends right there.
No.
That's okay. So if the MCU ends right there in 2011, then I'm saving the Avengers movie, no doubt about it. If all we lose is just the Avengers film, and we still have like Guardians and then all the solo films.
Mm-hmm. That's the way I see it.
How would you guys do this? The entire MCU versus the Dark Knight trilogy.
Sorry, Nolan.
I'm saving MCU every time.
I'm going trilogy. There's too much good in that you can't replicate anywhere else. You never get Heath Ledger's Joker, Christian Bale's Batman.
Okay, so you know what? If you're gonna play that card, if we never as much as you're absolutely correct. They are great, movies, whatever. I'm thinking for the longevity of a franchise that's been around for as many years that it has been for the MCU. But if you had never had Heath Ledger's Joker, you might still have Heath Ledger. So if I had to sacrifice
Let's
one
pick another name out of the hat.
God damn it, Brian, you just went dark.
Went very dark and depressing. I don't like it. Let's lighten it up with some Adam Sandler movies. Waterboy versus Happy Gilmore.
That's a good palate cleanser.
Wow.
Happy Gilmore.
Waterboy. Waterboy every day compared to Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore. I think I'm going with Happy Gilmore.
I still think that's Sandler's funniest, so I gotta go Happy Gilmore. And he's not doing his stupid voice yet.
At least for Waterboy, his stupid voice worked. As opposed to like fucking Billy Madison and shit. Like
I will take Billy Madison over Waterboy any day.
No,
Yes.
fuck that.
We're coming for your childhood again.
Oh shit.
Goonies versus Stand By Me.
Fuck.
Oh boy.
God damn it.
I'm thinking next time I'm gonna throw Goonies versus Back to the Future into that hat.
Fuck you too. Goonies. Stand By Me, absolutely great movie. Great adaptation for a Stephen King novella.
Some of the greatest kids' performances ever.
Mm-hmm. River Phoenix.
Corey Feldman.
Fat Jerry O'Connell.
Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton? No.
Dreyfus.
I gotta keep Mama from being thrown from the train and keep Goonies.
I'm keeping Goonies.
Chunk. Gotta keep Chunk.
Chunk.
Can't ever get rid of Chunk.
No, you can't. Now he's an entertainment lawyer.
Is he really?
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't act anymore.
What's it called? What's his law firm called? The Truffle Shuffle?
Fuck if I don't know. I just know his last name's like Cohen or something like that. Psycho versus American Psycho.
This is my, like, crisis of faith moment right here.
American Psycho for the win.
You've never seen Psycho, though.
I don't care.
What?
I've never seen all of it.
Oh, okay.
Do you know the twist?
Well, that is Norman? Yes. Dude, after this many years and a Vince Vaughn remake, if anybody doesn't know the twist,
Oof.
no. The movie that was supposed to kill Christian Bale's career for the win.
God, this is such a tough one.
He was told that if he did this movie, it would kill his career.
Hitchcock was told if he did Psycho, it would kill his career.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look how that turned out.
I don't know where you're going with that.
It did not kill his career.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotta go Psycho. There's so much writing on that movie. It changed horror movies that we know today. You wouldn't get American Psycho without that. There's just, it literally changed how the game is played here in America. So I can't pick anything but that. Norman Bates is one of the greatest movie characters ever. So is Patrick Bateman.
Patrick Bateman is amazing.
But so is Anthony Perkins.
I know. I'm still going. I'm still
I
going
gotta
modern day.
go Psycho.
I'm saving Psycho.
You rat bastards. You rat bastards.
You rat bastards.
You rat bastards.
All right, we're gonna end it. Batman '89 versus Batman Begins.
Ooh.
Burton versus Nolan.
Nolan.
Bale versus Keaton.
I'm saving Batman Begins.
Yeah, Nolan.
God, I don't know what to pick here. This is a tough one.
Yeah, because at least then you can live with the idea of that just because the Keaton one doesn't exist doesn't necessarily mean the Nolan one never would.
No, but that is the first time you'll ever get Batman.
Why is that? All you said was Batman Begins versus 1989 Batman.
Yeah, but if '89 Batman never happens and it's not the big hit, maybe Batman's never ever seen on the big screen again.
Who's to say they don't start with Batman Returns and it's just not called Batman Returns?
Because Batman '89 never happened.
I'm just saying.
I'm going Batman Begins. I have to go.
You'll have to go.
It's the better movie.
Yes.
And then you get The Dark Knight.
Especially when you got Tim Burton like, I don't like comic book movies. Bitch, you made 2 of them.
Yeah. They're pretty comic booky, too.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. All right. So that was it. That was some of our picks. We're going to have to go throw away some movies now and never have watched them.
That's what you say today.
It's disappointing, isn't it?
It is very
I
disappointing.
think we hurt Brian's heart a couple times.
Yeah.
I'm sad on the inside.
He can never watch Ghostbusters ever again.
Hey, compared to some of the ones that you gave me, I saved the good ones.
That's true.
I saved my Back to the Future. I saved my Goonies. I can live a happy childhood.
Just Ghostbusters-less childhood.
You tried to get rid of our Pixar, though.
Yeah, you picked Fast and the Furious over Pixar. Like, you'd still have Point Break.
Yeah, well, I guess for the sake of Pixar, that was more. I was already I was already in high school by that time.
Uh-huh.
For you guys, it's literally your childhood.
He would have never had to buy all those Cars toys for his kid, I guess. So that's a plus.
I was at the worst
There you go.
because
Oh, my kids love Hot Wheels. It don't matter.
Toy Story 3 came out my senior year of high school. So
Yeah,
that
but
was-
how old were you in '94?
Well, that doesn't matter.
That's why I'm saying your childhood. That's why I'm saying you have a little bit more of an emotional investment towards like the Pixar movies because those started you figure Toy Story is in early 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So by then you're how old?
Well, 94, I'd be 1.
So it's literally been your entire life.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Toy Story 3 was about Andy going to college. And I was going to college.
You were crying like a little baby,
You
weren't
had
you?
to give away all your toys.
We had to watch it in a class. It was a creative writing class. So it's just all these seniors in this creative writing class watching fucking Toy Story 3. The ending comes and it's like, God damn.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in the classroom's just bawling their eyeballs out.
That teacher knew what she was doing. She's playing
As a kid, I had the same amount of Fast and the Furious toys as I did Toy Story ones, but I still can't get rid of Toy
What
Story.
kind of Fast and Furious toys did you have? A few cars?
A few cars, and they had like Vin Diesel and Paul Walker figures with them.
Really?
Yeah.
I had some cars, but I didn't actually have any sort of like.
Yeah. So let's move on to what's coming soon this weekend.
What is coming soon this weekend?
Valentine's weekend. That's what's coming.
I lost my shit.
Uh-oh. Brian's lost his shit.
I lost my shit again. There it is. Yay!
Isn't It Romantic? Comes out February 13th. Rebel Wilson, romantic comedy. And the old man has fallen asleep in the couch.
That movie is. I'd be surprised if it makes top 5.
Really?
Isn't it romantic? What?
Yeah, but with everything that's coming out.
We'll make our picks here in a second.
Yeah. Okay.
So, we also got Happy Death Day to You, also coming out February 13th. Alita Battle Angel, February 14th. And Sioux Falls is not going to get this, at least this next week.
No, limited release.
So limited release, Fighting With My Family.
Fighting with the family.
So let's go around the horn. What is going to be the number 1 movie this Valentine's weekend?
No, I think it's going to be a work in between Lego Movie 2 and Adelita Battle Angel for number 1 spot.
I think Alita Battle Angel is gonna bomb hard, really hard.
But looking at how the current weekends are going, there's nothing that is like spot on like bring in $60+ million since like Aquaman in December.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying it's going to bring in 60 million, but I still think it's probably going to be pretty close to being able to take that first spot. Because I mean, if you look at freaking Lego this week, didn't even break 35. You know, if it gets anywhere near that, even with the decline that Lego Movie is going to get, it's still going to be probably maybe 25, and that's probably on an optimistic average. I think Adelina could at least bring in 20.
Chris, what do you got at the number 1?
I got Lego Movie at 1 and Isn't It Romantic at 2. Alita Battle Angel 3 or 4.
I think Happy Death Day is going to take the weekend.
I don't.
I do. PG-13. You can draw on more audiences. It's literally, of all these movies, it's the one I've seen the most hype about.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of that funny take on this horror genre. It's not too scary. It's got the Groundhog Day thing. Now it's adding the time travel kind of thing. It's not taking itself very seriously at all.
It never did
Perfect.
the first time. That's why when I saw the trailer for the first time, I literally just giggled my shit all the way through the whole trailer.
Perfect date movie. So, I think it's going to take that number 1 spot.
I don't know.
With probably Lego behind it.
Here's my question. I would be curious to see what the opening box office was for the first one. So it might pick up a little bit of ground because of a predetermined audience. Now it's not going to double, I bet.
It opened with 26 million.
I think this next one will pull in over 30. It's got people. It had good reviews for that first one, and I think people are at least somewhat hyped for this one. I think that'll be number 1. So Brian, you got Lego Movie still number 1?
I think it's going to be a battle between that and Adelita Battle Angel.
Chris, you had Lego Movie.
And then Isn't It Romantic?
I'll go with Happy Death Day, then Lego, then Isn't It Romantic. I think Alita's going to not do too hot.
We'll see.
Unfortunately. We also got some local stuff coming up here in the next month.
Local Schmucks?
Local schmucks. We have Cinema Falls is bringing Woman at War March 10th at 6:30 p.m. to the West Mall 7. It's a foreign film that they're bringing in. Hala, a woman in her 40s, declares war on the local aluminum industry to prevent it from disfiguring her country. She risks all to protect the highlands of Iceland, but the situation could change with the unexpected arrival of a small orphan in her life.
Well, shit, that sounds depressing.
It does sound a little bit dark, a little bit depressing.
Welcome to most foreign films.
Yep, exactly.
At least foreign films that we get here. Indie events.
Is bringing Lords of Chaos February 24th at 8 p.m. at Full Circle Book Co-op. This is basically described as a death metal horror movie. A teenager's quest to launch Norwegian black metal in Oslo in the early 1990s results in a very violent outcome. Dun, dun, dun.
Which Culkin?
Rory.
Rory Culkin.
So it's got the Rory Culks in this movie.
It's got the Rory Culkin. Because that's the one from Scott Pilgrim, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. I've heard really good stuff about this movie.
It looks good.
And I like my death metal horror movies. Those are always pretty cool. So
Yeah, you just like horror movies.
that too.
Even really bad ones like Troll 2.
Troll 2 is amazing. Don't lie. Other local events coming up, the Dancing Spider Film Festival which is held every year in Laverne, Minnesota, which is just about an hour drive from Sioux Falls. They have a film festival coming up, and you can sign up and submit your entries for said festival for an early bird deadline of March 23rd.
March 23rd.
So Brian, get your movie in there.
I gotta make movies.
Oh, you got about a month. You can do it.
Yeah,
You're Back to the Future 4. Make it.
Yeah, let's not get that. Let's not meet Bob Gale and Robert Zemeckis that way.
You can just rechange the title.
It would be like the whole Twilight thing where it was.
Yes, the Twilight. You're gonna write your Back to the Future fan fiction.
Yeah, my fan fiction that turns Twilight into 50 Shades of Grey.
Yes. I don't know who's Marty gonna hook up with this time.
Jennifer, duh.
So that's the show.
That is the show.
We destroyed quite a bit of our childhoods, but that's okay.
And our adulthoods and our adolescence
and I picked the Cat in the Hat.
And you're giving me shit about
Fast and the Furious. Well, comparing the Grinch to Pixar.
Well, I will say this much here. What it sounds like in general is we all made some bad decisions.
We've made some bad decisions. We got rid of some great movies, but I think we'll survive.
Yeah, fucking Cat in the Hat. Jesus
fucking
Christ.
Cat in the Hat.
There you go. That's a good hashtag that. Fuck the Cat in the Hat.
Fucking Cat in the Hat. We got to plug the Sioux Falls film community on Facebook. That's where you guys can join in the conversation. Let us know what type of stuff you're doing or what you're checking out. So drop a comment there.
Yeah, a little bit of place for a little bit of all of us to be able to go in and talk a little bit here along with us. And check out Andy over at Fat Dude Digs Flicks and the Midwest Movie Talk with Jameson and Blake.
Yes, so check out those local guys. They're doing some awesome stuff over on their channels as well.
Absolutely. And don't forget to come check out us on our own Backlot 605 as well as our website as well, where we post reviews and articles and just whatever the fuck we want else put on there.
Yeah, we got a lot of good stuff up there, so check it out. Please use the hashtag Schmuck Club whenever you talk about Backlot 605.
Or any of us for that matter.
Yeah.
Schmuck Club, all of us.
Everybody be a schmuck with us.
Be a schmuck.
Check out our T-Public store on our website and visit us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. And also check us out on podcast sites such as Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Play, and YouTube.
And the tube of Ubes.
Until next time, this has been Backlot 605. I'm Casey.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Chris.
Goodbye.